Hi, my name is Shane Sculla. This is a podcast where we connect with business owners, exploring the professional and personal sides of their entrepreneurial journey. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and get ready to be educated, entertained, and inspired. This is the Fresh Brewed Business.
Hello, and thank you for joining us again on the Fresh Brewed Business. I'm Shane Sculla, and with us today is Denise Fenwick Beavers.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. Now, again, on this show, we like to talk about not so much the product or the business. We will touch on that, but what we try to focus on is the person behind the business, their motivations on starting a business, where they started, how they got to that point, pitching at 1 million cups, and how the business has evolved since then. So, Denise, when did you know that you wanted to go into the entrepreneurial path?
I believe it's in my bloodline. My grandmother owned her own business. My grandfather did as well. I just have not been able to acclimate to a 9-to-5 since I can remember. And I knew a long time ago that I wanted to be an independent entrepreneur and earn my way through life. I initially thought that I would be married and have kids, so the unique thing for me was to figure out how do I balance a home business with a family. Those things didn't happen, but I got most of what I wished for.
So, can you explain just really briefly, what is your business?
Well, it's Flaggers National Traffic Control Systems, and currently we function as a labor provider for temporary traffic control technicians. We are subcontractors for prime contractors that do highway, bridge work, road construction, tree trimming, or utility line work. Some gas pipelines as well.
All right. So I like to focus on the 1 million cups pitch and entrepreneurism. And when people have an idea for a business, you're sitting at home, you get struck by lightning, you're inspired. What was it that inspired you to go down this path for this particular business?
To be quite honest with you, this was something that has been developing in my life longer than I even knew. I just have to really acknowledge Christ as my higher power of understanding, and the process that I had gone through in life brought me here. I grew up traditionally, and I was the youngest of three. My father was stepfather to my two older siblings, and that marriage didn't work out. Things in my life were difficult as my brother was sick with kidney failure. So at the age of 14, I lost him, and he died of a massive heart attack. And the hospital was exactly 2 miles down the road from us. Because of road construction and improper updating, it took the ambulance over 22 minutes to reach us. And he literally passed away in my arms. And I never quite understood how important proper barricades, proper communication in traffic could be to our emergency response team, to your community. It's just one of those things that, you can't change. You can't go back and make a difference, but I can definitely understand how it affects families, how it affects communities and people, as well as the gentlemen that are working in our economy locally. As the United States grows, we need to put people in jobs. There's so much opportunity here, and I just had a passion for making sure that there was no more negligence when it came to safety and training, that we have a goal nationally to get towards 0 lives lost. And I started my business based on 0 lives lost, no incidents. And I do believe that it's possible to maintain that. And my challenge is to train and create a labor force that will commit to that exact thing. I remember seeing a story on the news about a truck driver who had driven, I believe it was over 25 years with no accidents. So It's very possible, and the funding's available. And I just believe that when it comes to saving lives, you need a specialist. We have come so far technologically, whereas the Iowa Department of Transportation, you can get almost minute to minute details about traffic, construction, things that could have saved a life, 20 years ago. So
I've spoken to many entrepreneurs. That is one
Mhm.
of the most profound reasons or motivations to go down that path, what you just went through. And I'm glad you're doing it. When I think about road construction, I don't put a personality, I don't put a personal story, I don't put a tragedy behind why people are doing what they're doing. Why is it so important that we have flaggers? Why is it so important that there is communication? All I'm thinking about is my time and the time I
Right.
have it's going to take me to get through this. So hopefully the people who do listen to this and watch this can have a more intimate feeling when they are dealing with road construction, that everything that's happening is for a reason, and everything that's going on is to help us get from point A to point B faster and safer. So thank you for that. Is there a specific ritual or thing that you do every morning that helps you?
Well, yes, I've learned, I have had many entrepreneurial ideas. I've had business plans done before. It wasn't until I encountered Scott Swenson in Cedar Rapids with the SBCD that really catapulted my faith and my courage to move forward with this. You really have to tie into your community. I took some things from understanding business in college classes and analyzed what I wanted to do and who it would affect and how it could affect them. I tried to analyze those other stakeholders in the community that could benefit. I looked at the access of funding. I made some considerations because, of course, this was just an immediate passion that I didn't understand in the moment. I didn't understand why this upset me so, and I've had to come to a personal and spiritual awakening about what led me here in my life. The other ideas that I wanted to pitch and do, just timing. You have to really be aware of what's going on around you, who else is interested in what you're doing, how you can be successful with the resources that are available. I personally, have had quite a, I don't know, crisscross or shady past that erupted from a broken home and some tragedies that we suffered after losing my brother, and it was damaging to my entire family. So my resources were limited. So I was one of those people that really had to try and go out and create those opportunities for myself. And I was just determined. I'm hard-headed, which sometimes is good and sometimes is bad.
Right.
I'm brutally honest, but I've learned that that's gained the respect that I would prefer than the favor when it comes to something that I hold so passionately. So
Right.
people are very forgiving when they realize that you've dug your heels in and you're not giving up. And they tend to really get behind you and support you. This was my third season that just ended in 2016. And I was so blessed to have, right here in my own county, a neighbor hot mix asphalt company start utilizing our services. And we've been able to be dependable for them and build a relationship with them. And it's been an amazing experience. I didn't expect so much to come out of my efforts. I know the hard way in my life from where I come from. If you don't earn it, you don't keep it. So I've really had to pull every resource that I could. And a lot of it was sweat equity, and every minute of it feels amazing. I feel really blessed and accomplished, and I'm ready to do more.
Every entrepreneur has a personal stake in their business. There's a reason why they're doing it. They love what they're doing. You have and your story takes that to the 10th degree. So when we talk to entrepreneurs about their emotional state, the emotional roller coaster that they go through when they're trying to create something from nothing, a lot of times there's this feeling like you can't show that it's depressing. You're down in the dumps. Things aren't going your way possibly for your business.
Wow, that's a big one.
And it can be very depressing. Have you struggled with these ups and downs of creating a business based on something that's so personal?
When I started out, I didn't realize how personal it was. I just knew that it was something that I had a very strong passion about. And I was also looking at the end result. So for me, it was all encompassing about what I stood for and what I believed. So it allowed me to have an awakening, like an epiphany. And so I knew this was it. I didn't know exactly why or where the passion had come from at the time that I'm going through the process. There are things that are pushing me, but there are also things that you avoid in that emotional, you have a way to defend yourself emotionally. So you go through these processes and there's struggles and you think, I'm just not going to make it sometimes. And then as soon as you feel like giving up, the phone rings and somebody needs you and you're scrambling to get everything together and you're making sure you have everything right because it's about being impressive and being prompt and being an improvement to what they're accustomed to. And yes, I have struggled with anxiety, depression, but these are things that I believe I've been affected by early in life that in my culture, we didn't acknowledge. So my mother's cure for everything was discipline. And that really instilled the work ethic that I have now. That's why I've been able to start with what people say nothing. But as my father would tell me, get back to basics. And, we pray for health, we pray for strength, and we pray for the ability to have free will. So as long as there's breath in my lungs and all my appendages are attached, I have no problem getting out there and, getting my hands dirty. I don't ask anyone to do anything that I'm not willing to do.
Now, for people who are starting a business and, they have stars in their eyes, and they're really hoping they're going to have this multi-million-dollar success, if you could say, hey, listen, there's going to be sacrifices you're going to have to make. It's not all starry. It's not all perfect. What kind of sacrifices have you made so that you can make this dream of yours come true?
Well, let me tell you, I never stop working. And I have to humble myself many a times. You have to know when you're wrong, admit when you're wrong, get good information. Luck is labor under correct knowledge. So researching is a big part of building. You also have to have some patience. Things don't happen overnight. And you have to have some connection to the community and know that you have some support and go out there and make those connections and don't give up. I've sacrificed almost losing my home. I've shoveled, I helped a lady with, kennels. I've shoveled crap, whatever it took.
Just to keep it going.
Put the money in, absolutely, to put the money in so that I could continue to expand and grow. I did that and I didn't want to ask for help until I earned the respect in my community. So now we have plans to move forward with the opportunities that were offered that I felt would have been in vain had I not gone through this process.
Right.
So for any other business owner, you have to understand that you have to humble yourself to your purpose. If there's a passion to your business, humble yourself to it and find out where you can align yourself with your community to make this happen and really evaluate everyone that's affected. And remember that we're all in this together. We're all in this together. It's not about pointing out our differences. It's about assimilating our similarities so that we can function and be healthy independently as people, as communities, as a country.
So when you were getting ready or being prepared to pitch your idea for the first time, this is your baby. I have not yet pitched a business idea to a group of people. I can only imagine because of how passionate I am about what I do and what I've created, to place myself up on stage in front of a large group of strangers and to throw out this idea. You're really creating a vulnerability in yourself. You're taking this opportunity that people might throw a lot of questions at you that you're not prepared for. Were you nervous to pitch for the first time?
I couldn't explain what I was feeling my first time. I think it was worse at 1 million cups because, I was going through transition, and there were a lot of things weighing on my mind. And when I got to 1 million cups, I was almost, I was just at one of those moments where my fire was dwindling a bit and I couldn't quite grasp my thoughts. And a lot of times you have to rethink your strategy. You may plan, but don't pack because you don't know that the opportunity that you bank on is going to present itself. So you have to stay open. So I know that the first time I'd gone out there, I just decided I haven't anything left to lose and I take myself lightly. So I wore, I wore something that would make me laugh at myself, and I prepared the best way that I knew how, and I just kind of depended on my passion to help me get through it. And there's nothing unique about my business. There are tons out there that are huge and have almost encompassed the nation. But there's something special about my determination and how I want this to change and how I would like to partner to develop a new culture in this industry, because the availability is there. It solves so many issues that people face. So, I'm hoping that people can get on board and that they believe as much as I do that it's important to communicate through traffic and through construction and to continue to build so that our economy is stronger and to continue to provide jobs and to continue to take care of people that work. We're not all cut out to run our own, own our own, or be like Donald Trump,
Right,
but
right.
we surely can contribute to the best of our ability. And if you're giving it your all, don't give up. That's my advice.
I was thinking about this before we did our first show for the Fresh Brewed business. I was talking with one of my partners about where we were 4 years ago, about what are our goals. If this happened this year, we would be so happy. And those goals are so small when I think back on them now because of where I'm at. Because of where I'm at. I never could have expected, truly, 4 years ago that I'd be where I'm at right now. And where have you, or are you surprised at where you started, what you had hoped would happen, and where you're at now?
I'm a big dreamer, so
so you're not surprised.
I'm a big dreamer, and I'm really hard on myself. So my problem is that sometimes the big picture is so overwhelming that I don't know how to shoot for my next step. So I also, like I said, I'm very spiritually driven. So if it doesn't feel right, I won't make a move. And I can say that when I got down to earth and realized, this is going to be a crawl before a walk, I was astonished at what I was able to get done. I went through a lot of anxiety and last minute changes, but at this point, that's the nature of the business. I'm not a subcontractor. They consider doing a pre-con because they don't consider us safety specialists or traffic control specialists in the perspective of needing to know the details before we arrive on the site. They feel that, they have staff to direct you. I'm just hoping that I'm able to communicate to my flaggers who are dealing with the public how to keep everybody happy and safe.
Right.
But I had one goal, and that was to land one major contractor in one state, and then I was going to go do something in another state and hope to get one contractor. I went from 3 contractors one season to like 15. So
amazing.
I was shocked. I'm thinking that I was going to just, court one contractor and win their business. And it didn't work out that way. So I can't complain, though. I've gotten the opportunity to experience a lot of different aspects of this industry that I never even knew. Even knew existed. So
I talked to a good friend of mine, Steve Shriver, and he gave me some advice one time. He said, sometimes people focus too much on, there's 2 aspects of your business: running your business and creating a product. And if you're focused too much on creating a great product, then you lag on creating a great business, running a great business. Have you found that to be an issue for you at all?
Absolutely. The idea when you have a business sounds so perfect, but really when you need to go access those resources and the timing's not available or there's miscommunications, there's regulations to follow, getting educated is the best way. But basically, starting from ground zero, I mean, I'm not sure what other entrepreneurs do, but I literally had to, sit back and go, I have this old broken down van, but if I fix this, it's runnable, it's insured, and I can fit so much of equipment in there and so many people, and that's how I started off, kind of like, a cardboard box on a lemonade stand.
Right.
Other people have resources where they can purchase equipment or finance or lease. And I chose not to go that route. I just, having been raised mostly in the South, we just kind of, you earn it and you pay for it. And that's it. Financing isn't really the wisest option. So I wanted to make sure I didn't put myself into any more debt. I wanted to make sure that I spent personal time, not just with my contractors, but with the people that I hired. And I did have to take a couple steps backward because the catapult, of course, was in the Cedar Rapids community, but I own my home and laid my roots down here in Southeast Iowa. So it was imperative for me to come back here and get reestablished as an individual here, and
Now,
earn the respect of my community to get the support that I needed to move forward.
right. Because your business has exploded, you've become very successful. You had a goal of one person in one state and another person in another state, and now it's gotten very large for you. But at some point, because you're growing so well,
Don't say that.
no, I'm sorry. But at some point, because
That's
you are
like
growing so
jinxing me.
well, you do have to start deciding how to outsource certain things that you would normally do yourself. And is that a source of anxiety for you? Because it is for me. When I have to start letting go of certain aspects of my business that I would normally have my hands fully entrenched in. How do you deal with that?
No problem with it as of now, simply because, again, so truly blessed to have the support of my community. I have one of my oldest friends since I've moved to Iowa has come on board. I've met a tremendous amount of people that have just been here for me on a personal level, that know folks that need jobs. There are people that suffer from certain types of mental illness, like I do, that have social anxieties that they can't function in a job where they're in an office or dealing with people or preparing food or whatever it is. And this is a job where they can stand alone and have the privacy that they need to be comfortable and earn a decent wage. So I search and I try to recruit the core people right now, because what I feel like I'm doing is building my board. So I took it very personal. And yeah, there were some that, they're laborers, they come and they go, but, and some I've had to, let go. But I just keep, I just keep my faith. I pray, and I always try to pay it forward. So I haven't found myself in a position where I've been too far in debt of in need of a favor from anyone. So I've been blessed with that here in Ottumwa. And I'm looking forward to expanding further and building that same type of relationship in other communities.
Right.
I feel like right here, I couldn't have gotten a better endorsement. But to have NAPCO pick us up this year.
I used to jump out of planes for a living. And it at first really surprised me at just how many of us were afraid of heights that jumped out of planes. And I took that and I apply it all over the place now. You have entrepreneurs, you have successful business people who have phobias of speaking in front of large audiences. You have people that they take their weaknesses, they take these things that they look at as a weakness or they really struggle with, but instead of succumbing to that weakness or succumbing to that illness, they push hard and they push forward and they overcome it. And you would never know that they're nervous in front of people. You would never know that they suffer from a mental illness of any kind. You would have no clue because they've pushed through that. And to me, and to anybody starting out a business or looking for inspiration, you look around and you're like, well, I could never do that. Look at her. I could never do what she's doing. Look at him. I can't do whatever he's doing because they're so much better than me. Well, no. There's people out there that they struggle. All of us struggle. We're all human. We all have this frailty of some kind. Absolutely. But if you're passionate about something, you can push through those weaknesses, you can deal with those shortcomings, and you can still be very successful doing something that you're extremely passionate about. And I'm very happy that you're doing well, that you've taken that passion, that tragedy, and turned it into something that's very positive and fulfilling for yourself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been more than blessed, and I appreciate the support. And hopefully next time we talk, there'll be more to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for episode number 2, and you can fill me in on any updates. But today, that's it for us here at the Fresh Brewed Business. Denise, thank you very much for being on the show with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me, and thank you to the 1 Million Cups and everybody in the community, the Cedar Rapids corridor, everyone for all their help and support and their tutoring. And without them, I probably would not have made it here. I needed all of that information. Took a while to sink in, but I needed all of it.
They are pretty amazing. So, Denise, thank you very much for being with us. And if you want to check out more things or resources, possibly present your 1 Million Cups, because they're all over the country. Go to 1millioncups.com and check them out there. And if you want to check out TPS Media, or if you want to have a podcast produced, you can go to tpsmedia.co and see what we offer there. But that's it. Fresh Brewed Business. Denise, thank you very much. We will see you all next time.
Thank you for listening to the Fresh Brewed Business. If you're an entrepreneur or know one who'd like to come into the studio to talk about their behind-the-scenes story, contact me personally at tpsmedia.co. Please join us next time on the Fresh Brewed Business, and remember, a good cup of coffee is like business. A fresh grind, a passion for how it's brewed, and patience makes for success. Have a great day.